this video, I am going to build what I would use as the starting lineup for every single Big Six Premier League club. Starting off with Arsenal. Now, the most recent game that they played was against, who was it against? It was against Newcastle United. They won 3-2. It was a summer series match. Now, this is the lineup that they used. Obviously, the biggest thing that they were missing was, or the biggest player more like, that they were missing was Gabriel. I think he's injured, but I'm not 100% sure on that. They have completed the signing of Gyökeres. I saw that somewhere today. So we are allowed to use Gyökeres, and we are allowed to make signings if we want to, but obviously we have to try and keep it realistic. Now, in goal, I think that they should use David Raya. There's an ad there when I need it the least. But first, we're going to use their lineup. Now, clearly, Mikel Arteta wants to use a 4-3-3. So we are going to respect his wish and use a 4-3-3. There it is. Now, as I was saying, before I realised I had to change the formation, David Raya is going to be the goalkeeper for them. He was probably the best goalkeeper of the Premier League last season, to be honest. And he is going to be their number one. And then their backup option will be Kepa, who's not the worst backup in the world, to be honest. He didn't have the best of stints at Chelsea, but at Bournemouth he was alright. I mean, he did do the job then. Anyway, for the right back, in that game, I think they used Ben White. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, they did use Ben White. Now, the other option at right back that they have is Jurrien Timber. And Timber's more of a physical player, whereas Ben White is more of a, a playmaker, comfortable on the board. But I think that because they attack from corners so much, they do Arsenal, I want to start Jurrien Timber over Ben White. Now, in the comments, you guys tell me, would you rather start Jurrien Timber or Ben White? But I think that Ben White is... Oh, it's Benjamin White, isn't it? That Jurrien Timber should start over Ben White. I swear Ben White can play as a centre-back as well. On that app it said only right-back. I think he can play as a centre-back. Now, in the match, they used Lewis Skelly as their primary left-back. Lewis Skelly is really good. He's only played 8 months of football, I think, since he got promoted from the academy. And it's crazy how good he is. He is really talented, an amazing prospect for their future. So I think that they should start him, definitely. He'll play well. He ticks all the boxes that they need out of their academy. Costs them nothing. And then Calafiori will be a relatively okay backup option. I mean, he's not the worst footballer in the world, otherwise he wouldn't be playing at a Premier League club. They could get an upgrade on him, but I wouldn't if I were them. And then that does mean that Takehiro Tomiyasu does have to be sold, but judging by this website, OneFootball, which I definitely recommend, and it is very reliable, it looks like Tomiyasu has left the club, so I haven't seen that anywhere. But it looks like he's gone. And Zinchenko is probably going to have to be sold as well, unless they want to use him as a reserve cam. Anyway, the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League, in my opinion. Saliba is the right centre-back because he's right-footed. Can't spell his name, there it is. And then their backup option is probably for William Saliba. It's probably going to be Jakub Kiwior and Christian Mosquera. So let's put Mosquera for Saliba, because I don't know whether he's left-footed or right-footed. And then for the left-back, Gabriel. And his backup option will be Mr. Jakub Kiwior. Is it with a U? Yes, it is. There. Oh, Kiwior's left-footed, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to play as a left-back. Now, onto the midfield. The midfield isn't the worst midfield in the world, but that is definitely not the midfield they'll be using. Now, the first player that we can get out of the way is Martin Odegaard. He's their captain. He's going to play all the matches, if not most of the matches, possibly all of them. And then his backup option is not going to be Fabio Vieira, because Vieira has been underwhelming since he arrived. I'm sure we can all agree on that. So I think that his backup option is going to be Christian Norgard, who they have just signed from Brentford, and the former Brentford captain will definitely get some playtime. Is it 2 O's or 1 O? No, it's 1 O. Norgard. There he is. Put him into the team. Now, for the more of the defensive one, we all know who it's going to be. I think he's the most expensive player in Arsenal's history. He is a good signing for £115 million, I think it was. Might have been 105 though, I'm not 100% on that. But he hasn't flopped, to say the least, so I think that they should use him going into next season, and they definitely will anyway. Now, his backup option is probably going to be Martin Zubamendi. He's just arrived from Real Sociedad. He'll get occasional first team minutes, I guess, come off the bench quite a lot, but he's not going to start realistically. And then the last player, Mikel Merino, had to play up top as a striker last season. Doesn't look like that's going to happen this season, and I'm not going to get a backup for him because the remaining midfielders look like they're going to get sold. I'll get to Ethan Nwaneri because he's obviously not going to get sold, but there are some academy graduates who are probably just going to get loaned out, like Max Downman, Louis Copley, Andre Harriman Anus. Anyway, let's move on to the attack. Now, the right wing, we all know it's going to be Starboy Saka. He's, as Arsenal fans call him, the best player on their team. I think that Odegaard is better personally, but you can definitely make an argument about Saka. And then the backup option, I did say we'd get to Nwaneri. Well, I'm going to talk about him now. Nwaneri is actually so good. He's 18 years old. I think he's one of the youngest players to ever do it in the Premier League. Adapted to the Premier League. He cost them 0, just like Lewis Skelly. He is really good for a bench player. But I wouldn't loan him out personally because he's too good to be loaned out at a lower league team. That does mean that Reece Nelson, who is more of a striker, to be honest, won't be playing. I don't know why they bought Noni Madueke because he is definitely unneeded for the team. I think Ismail Kabir is an academy graduate because I haven't heard too much from him. But anyway, let's move on to the left wing. Now, this is obviously either Gabriel Martinelli or Trossard. But I think I'd rather back the former Brighton man for the job, because I think he's better than Martinelli. So Martinelli, in my opinion, should be the reserve option. Let's put him into their team. And then finally, up top, he had his medical yesterday. It's a done deal, announced literally today, or the day that I made this video. It's Victor Gyökeres. He's going to play more or less every game. So the 27-year-old, you can get into the team already. And then the backup option, it's either Kai Havertz or Gabriel Jesus, but honestly, it's going to be Kai Havertz. Jesus is going to be injured too often. He's going to be shipped off, isn't he? Havertz is the backup option. And so this is my team for Arsenal. I don't think I want to make any more signings because the team is pretty good. But if there was a position to get an upgrade on, maybe a midfielder, an upgrade on Mikel Merino. Maybe a right back, an upgrade on Urian Timber. But honestly, I think this is a good team. Do I think it's Premier League winning worthy? No, I don't. But I do think that it's a team that's going to finish second again. Because it's not the worst team in the world. Anyway, let's move on to Chelsea. Chelsea just has come off a World Cup winning campaign. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean too much because players don't care too much about the Club World Cup. But it still is an achievement. And this is the lineup they used to beat that mighty PSG team that won that historic treble. There are some positions to upgrade. The goalkeeper, probably the centre-back. The rest of the team isn't too bad. They might want an upgrade on Neto. But anyway, let's start building the team. Chelsea also has a ridiculous number of players, so they do need to start selling. I mean, look at this. This is their players that they can currently use. So that's not even counting the players who are loaned out. The number of players that Chelsea has. Look at the number of players they have. This is the first team players that they have, and then they also have a bunch of players out on loan, 3 players out on loan, players under contract, and then they have under 21 players in the academy. So yeah, they do need to do a bit of selling, but their first team should be good, and let's start building it. Ads are annoying. Now, Chelsea used a 4-2-3-1 formation to win the Club World Cup, so that's Enzo Maresca's decision, not mine. So it's not the worst formation in the world, to be honest. It is actually probably a good formation, popular by many managers. So yeah, let's use that because we're trying to be realistic in this video. Now the goalkeeper position, Robert Sanchez is going to start. He's not the best keeper in the world, has made quite a lot of blunders, but he is going to get that number 1 spot. And then Philip Jurgensen will be the backup option. But I did say that we were allowed to make signings, and so I'm going to remove Philip Jurgensen. I'm going to remove Robert Sanchez. Robert Sanchez, he can probably settle for the bench because I think that the player that Chelsea needs is Mr. Diogo Costa. He fits their profile, good at kicking, pretty good at saving, and definitely doesn't make any mistakes. He can save penalties as well, which is useful. And then the backup option, I wouldn't put Robert Sanchez personally. I would put Philip Jurgensen because Robert Sanchez seems like the player who can sell because he's an outcast, so teams would be interested. So I'd have Philip Jurgensen on the bench instead. Now they do have quite a lot of goalkeepers. Let's have a look. 4 goalkeepers. I think they have 5 out on loan, or they had that at some point in the season. So yeah, they do need to do a bit of selling, don't they? Now for the defense, they have academy players. Then they have Chilwell, Achimbakong, Gusto, Kukurea. I mean, this is a crazy list. They really need to do some sellings, raise some funds probably. They don't need too many, to be honest, because they've got a rich owner, Todd Boehly, but they do need to do some selling. Now, for the right back choice, Reece James is their captain, so I don't think there's any point debating him starting. Now, he did start as a CDM in the Club World Cup final. I don't think that is wise, to be honest. I think he should start in his primary position, which is right back. It's just that Malo Gusto is so good, he doesn't deserve to be on the bench. But assuming that James is going to be out injured, Gusto is a very good option to have. Now for the left back, again, we all know who it's going to be, but then it's going to be Marc Guerreiro. Now I am a big fan of Max Chilwell, honestly. Not Max, Ben Chilwell, 3-letter names. Ben Chilwell, he is really good in my opinion, but he does look like he's on his way out of Chelsea. Now I'm going to check that they don't have any backup left backs. Obviously not academy left backs because they're going to be too young. They did have Lewis Hall, but then they sold him off to Newcastle. So I think that it's a backup option, so we're not going to make a signing because we don't need to think for backups. But I think that they do need to upgrade their backup left back if they are going to sell Chilwell. But I think that they should start Chilwell over Kukurea because Chilwell on his day is actually really good. Now for the right back partnership, they do have quite a lot of right backs, and a lot of them are French. They have, going from the top, they have Disasi, Badiashile, Gusto is French, but he's not centre-back. Chalobah's not French. Fofana's French. I mean, it is. They have got quite a lot of French players. But anyway, Chalobah and Colwell usually play, so I think that we're just going to respect Enzo Maresca's decision for this. Although, I do think we need to get an upgrade on Chalobah. So instead, we are going to put into the team Mr. Dio Upamecano. He isn't too young, so he offers experience to the team. Can play a ball over the top towards, Cole Palmer if he wants to. Or they have Liam Delap as well, who's pretty physical, so he'll be useful. And then Chalobah can settle for the bench. They have got quite a lot of centre-backs though. Can I spell his name? Yes, I can. So they need to do some selling. And then the other centre-back, Colwell, we're not going to sign 2 new centre-backs realistically, are we? But they could upgrade on Colwell as well. And then I'm not going to write down his backup options because there are so many. There's Badiashile, Disasi, Achimapong, no, not Colwell. He's Colwell. Fofana, Adarabio. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to the defensive midfield. Now, I'm not going to talk much about them because they spent a fortune on them, so they're obviously going to play all of the matches. Enzo Fernandez is the first CDM, and then the other CDM is going to be Mr. Moises Caicedo. Even more expensive than Enzo Fernandez. Now, their backup choice will be Romeo Lavia, not Lavio, Lavia. Hasn't played enough matches, to be honest, because he was quite a talent at Southampton. There is their midfield. Where does it start? There it starts. Oh, we also need to make a point about Andre Santos, the only player all season to have beaten PSG in 2 different matches. He did it with Strasbourg in a 2-1 victory, and then with Chelsea in the Club World Cup final. He is a talent. He'll probably be able to grow and to become a good player. So, yeah, I think that they should keep growing him. And then for the right wing, I haven't talked about Cole Palmer because obviously I want to put Cole Palmer on the right. I think he's best on the right there. He's more creative there. I mean, no, not on the right. So I say one thing and I mean the other thing. I meant as a cam. He's better as a cam because he's their best player by far, and he's able to create opportunities for their strikers. Now his backup options, it's not going to be Mudryk because he's been banned, or he's probably going to get banned for 4 years. So his backup choice is probably going to be Dewsbury Horde. I meant Cam when I said Cam, right mid by the way. He is better as a Cam, not as a right wing, I'm sure of that. Now, the right wing, Pedro Neto did start on the left in the Club World Cup final, but he's left-footed, so Pedro Neto realistically should be playing on the right, shouldn't he? Where is he? There he is. So yeah, play him on the right, and then we do need a backup option for him. Wrong tab. So his backup option is probably going to be not Raheem Sterling because he's on his way out. Probably Jamie Bino Gittins. It does feel unfair to be benching him because he's so good. Amazing for Borussia Dortmund last year. He is right-footed, so he's more of a left winger, but he should do a job from the bench, I guess. Good for them. And then the left wing, I can see that they took Pedro Neto on the left, so we're not going to put him on the left as well. I think that personally we should go for a striker, and in fact both of our strikers are going to be as a left wing, so the first choice and the backup, and they're both going to be called Joao. Now the first striker is the first left winger, is going to be Joao Pedro. He is versatile, he can play on the left, he'll be able to do a job on the left, and then the other left winger is Joao Felix. Joao Felix, that's his name. That's how it's pronounced according to him. They're both strikers, but they can both play on the wing, and I feel like Felix can probably revive his career if Chelsea give trust in him. And then up top, we have got Liam Delap. He probably carried, to be honest, carried Ipswich Town last season. And then Man United were interested in him. But me personally, I would rather not have a Man City Academy graduate in our team. So I'm happy he didn't join us. But he has joined Chelsea instead. And then his backup option is probably going to be Nicholas Jackson. Is it with an H or not? No, there's no H. There it is. And then that is the Chelsea team. Now that does mean that a bunch of players will have to be sold. Christopher Nkunku. And then loan out a couple of players as well. Estevao, Mark Guiu, the guy who scored on his second professional touch for Barcelona. Yeah, that's my Chelsea team. Up next is Liverpool. Their most recent match was a 4-2 defeat to AC Milan, courtesy of a goal from Rafa Leao, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Noah Okafor, and then another Noah Okafor, Cody Gakpo, and who scored the other Liverpool goal? Dominic Szoboszlai. So let's look at the team that they had. So that is clearly not their first team. Stevenson, Moher, I think I said that right, although I didn't say it right. Tyler Morton, Harvey Elliott. So yeah, they're not going to be. Oh, and they had Ryan Gravenberch as a centre back as well. Yeah, that's definitely not the team that they're going to be playing for the upcoming season. So let's build the team that they're going to be playing for the upcoming season. As I think they were playing in a 4-3-3 formation. Whoops, I've lost the tab now, haven't I? Where was it? Results. They were playing in a 4-2-3-1, just like Chelsea. Okay, well, we're going to play in a 4-2-3-1. Although I do think that they use more of a 4-3-3. So I'm going to not listen to what they were using it to. And instead play a 4-3-3. It is more or less the same thing, except for the fact that the three midfielders are balanced. Now, keeper. They have either Mamadashvili or Alisson. They have a couple of academy players as well. I think that Alisson is always getting injured. Mamadashvili is young and he can grow, but he needs game time to grow. So me personally, I'm starting Mamadashvili over Alisson. Now, some Liverpool fans are going to call me a Man United delusional fan and whatever, but I think that Mamadashvili is better than Alisson personally. Alisson's not that good. He is overrated in my opinion, so I think that Mamadashvili will do a job if he is trusted in between the sticks for Liverpool. Now, for the right back, I'm going to obviously start Jeremiah Frimpong. He just got signed as the Trent Alexander-Arnold replacement, and his backup choice will be Connor Bradley. I don't think there's any point in upgrading a backup because he's a backup. Now, for the left back, there's going to be Kirkes, and he is going to be their starting left back. Now, you think I'm going to put on the bench Andy Robertson, but we'll get to him because I've got a good idea. Now, these are the other defenders that you can have. I don't think there are any other left. Oh no, there is Timikas for a left back. But no, Kirkes will be starting. Now, the right centre back, Konate, he will be starting, and his backup choice will probably be Joe Gomez, unless there's someone better. So let's put him into the team. And now, where is he? There he is. And now, I did say that we weren't going to use Andrew Robertson as a left back. That's because I want to put him as a centre back. Andrew Robertson is left footed. I can't spell his name. He is left footed. Van Dijk is right footed. Konate is right footed. And they are also trying to sign Mark Guehi, so I don't know why I didn't write him. I wrote Joe Gomez instead. Let's put Guehi into the team. Removing Gomez. There's no R in Guehi. I think that they want to have a left-footed centre-back because a left-footed centre-back and a right-footed centre-back is not the same thing. Onto the midfield. These are the options that they can have for the midfield. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, not bad for depth. Now, they are going to play with their traditional midfield. That means McAllister is one of the players. Another player is going to be Szoboszlai, if I can spell his name correctly. There it is. And then Gravenberch. Now, they have just signed Florian Wirtz, but once again, we'll get to him. Now, they haven't got bad backups, to be honest. They have got Harvey Elliott, who is one of the youngest players to ever do it in the Premier League, once again. They've got Curtis Jones, who is an academy graduate, I think. Curtis Jones, there it is. And then finally, another backup option they've got is the young Spanish midfielder, Stefan Bajkatic. I think I've pronounced that correctly. He has got quite a lot of potential, so he is... Oh, I haven't spelled it correctly. Bajkatic. There. He has got quite a lot of potential, so I think signing him up... Whoops, that was a mistake. Was a good move on Liverpool's side. Now, the right wing is going to be the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. And let's just show you the options before I keep going. Advancing too quickly. His backup option is not going to be Ben Doak, because he's probably going to get loaned out. So his backup is probably going to be Chiesa, who is trying to revive his career. Not Salah, Chiesa, who is trying to revive his career at Liverpool. It's not going too well for him right now, but hopefully he can do it eventually. Now, the left wing, it's going to be probably Luis Diaz with Gakpo as his backup. So again, it's not too bad. There he is. And Gakpo is going to be the backup. So the left wing position isn't the worst in the world either. Now, I did say that we can sign Isak. We have signed Ekitike to Liverpool. There is Darwin Núñez as well. Isak, though, is not guaranteed. And I think that I want to plan a team where Isak isn't in the team. So I'm going to start Florian Wirtz up top because he can play there. And it would just be a right move to play him up top. I mean, he is creative. He can dribble from up top, so he will be able to play there. And then his backup option will be Ekitike. There. And then if they sign Isak, they can take out one of their midfielders, put Wirtz into the midfield, obviously. But I think that this is what I'm going to say my Liverpool team is. And now we are going to move on to Manchester City. The most recent match that Man City has played was a 4-3 loss to Al Hilal. They were probably playing their first team. Yes, they were. Now, Pep Guardiola likes to change formation he uses all the time. He was using a 4-3-2-1 in this match, so I think I'm just going to respect that. And I'm going to put a 4-3-2-1 for this lineup as well. Now, if this has got 4-3-2-1, which I'm sure it has, I'm just not very good at looking for it. There it is. So, oh whoops, I forgot to flip the players. There, so, in goal, the goalkeeping department is definitely a good one for Man City. They have Edison, probably one of the, if not the best backup option in the world. Stefan Ortega Moreno, which I've accidentally clicked on, so I need to unclick now. And they have signed their Scott Carson replacement in Marcus Bettinelli, who went from 4th choice at Chelsea, I think, to 3rd choice at Man City. So he's definitely not getting any game time. But he is a nice option to have, I guess, for them. But no, Edison will be starting. for Manchester City. And then his backup option will be Stefan Ortega-Moreno. There he is. Right, now, right back. Kyle Walker has left the club, so it looks like that the versatile defender, Mr. Mateus Nunes, who they signed from Wolves, if I can spell his name, is there two T's maybe? He is going to be playing as a right back, and, I can't spell his name, maybe just Nunes, that'll do the job. There it is. A bunch of CDMs have been playing as right back recently. We've seen that with Joshua Kimmich. We've seen that with the French talent in Joao Neves, and now we're seeing it in Mateus Nunes. So yeah, CDM slash right back is becoming more common. Now, do they have any backup options other than Nathan Ake to play as a right back? I don't think they do. I've never heard of Josh Wilson Esbrand, even though I would say my ball knowledge is pretty good. So it looks like that the left-footed Ake is going to have to settle with being a backup right back choice. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to do, but we're going to have to settle for it. Now, the left back, I want to say the most expensive, but I might be wrong about that. Oh, Issa Kabore can also play as a right back, by the way. The most expensive left back slash centre back of all time, but I might be wrong about that. It might be Harry Maguire. Is probably going to play the matches, but they have just landed Ryan Aït-Nouri, who is going to be competitive for that spot, and might just take it off Guardiola. And then the two centre-back choices. Now, Ruben Dias is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Let's just say it. Even as a Man United fan, I do have to admit that. His backup option will probably be Kasanov. Where's he from again? He's from Uzbekistan. I think, yeah, he is from Uzbekistan. He will be his backup option. He is young, pretty good. Just arrived from Lens, I think, Racing Club de Lens. Kasanov get into the team. And then his partner will be Mr. John Stones. And his backup option will probably be, well, let's look at who it can be. Akanji, maybe? Yeah, probably Akanji, who, ever since winning the treble, hasn't played too much for Man City, to be honest. Now, the three CDMs, I'm going to call them CDMs. Now, the first one, he's just arrived from the Serie A from AC Milan, and his name, if I can find him, is Tijani Reinders. They have got quite a lot of central midfielders, don't they? But no, the first central midfielder will be Tijani Reinders, or as some people like to call him, not me, Reinders. It's I can't spell it. Is he? Yes, he is. There he is. I think he was named the best midfielder in Serie A last season, which is a nice title to have. Then Ilkay Gundogan will probably be his backup choice. And then the next midfielder will probably be not Calvin Phillips, he's going to get sold off. Probably Mateo Kovacic, to be honest. When you're using three CDMs, someone has to play. Kovacic hasn't played too much, but he will play every now and again. And his backup option, well, we'll get to it. And then finally, the current Ballon d'Or holder, Rodrigo Hernandez, will be the last central defensive midfielder. Now, for the two cams, they're either going to be in forward. No, they're not. They're going to be in their midfield then. Now, you can have Bernardo Silva. Jack Grealish has been he wasn't even named in the squad for their Club World Cup action. Now, I think that Phil Foden and Ryan Cherky are going to fight for that first cam spot, but I'm going to give it to Ryan Cherky because he was really good. An amazing French talent, two-footed. And then Foden will have to settle for the bench if I do that. Because I think that Omar Marmoush is going to have to play as a cam. He's good. And, yep, he'll have to play as a cam. And then his backup option will probably be like a Jeremy Doku, who can play cam. He's a left winger, right winger, who can play as a cam. But Savinho won't be getting into the team if I do that. I'm checking that I haven't missed anyone. Oscar Bob, yeah, he won't be getting into the team. McAtee, he might make the move to Man United. I mean, it is early to say it, but he might do it. Bernardo Silva, he is going to have to be sold off if I do this. But yeah, we all know who the striker's going to be. It's going to be Erling Haaland. Now, obviously, we can put Marmoush as his backup option and then bring in someone that I've just said. But Haaland will be starting all, if not most, of the matches. And once I get rid of the advert, that is going to be my team for Man City. Up next, Man United. Now, as a Man United fan, I need to get this right, so I need to build a good team. Their most recent match was against West Ham. It was in a 2-1 win, which I just watched the highlights for this morning. We had a good performance, I'd say. This was the team we used. Bayende will not be the starting goalkeeper. Heaven is probably going to be a bench player. But yeah, let's build a team. So, Mr. Ruben Amorim uses a 3-4-2-1 formation. So once I've found it, there it is, we can start using that. Now in goal, Andre Onana is the first choice goalkeeper, but we are obviously looking for an upgrade on him. Now Gianluigi Donnarumma is our first choice, but Gianluigi Donnarumma has just won the Champions League. He is not joining Man United. Now another option is Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez, though, being French, I really don't like him after what he did in the World Cup, so I don't want him either. The player who I want to sign in between the sticks for Man United is going to be Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Now, hear me out. Ter Stegen is indeed a Barcelona player, but Barca fans want him out. So I think that we can make the most of this. Oh, Bayern dear, yeah. So I think that we can make the most of that and bring him in at a cut fee price. Now, our three centre-backs are going to be De Ligt, Lisandro Martinez, and Leny Yoro. Let's put them straight into the team, and then we can build from there, because obviously they're going to be our three centre-backs, whereas this Martinez, the good Martinez, and then Leny Yoro is going to be the final one. Now, there are a couple of players who are going to be backups. So the first one is going to be Harry Maguire. Good at attacking as well as defending, which is nice. He is having a nice redemption arc. Then there's also the ex-Arsenal Academy graduate, Aiden Heaven. Whoops. I cannot spell his name. Or is he not on this? No, he is on this. Great. And then I'm just going to double check that there's no one else I've missed. There is Diego Leon, who we've just signed. But I think that I want to have Mr. Luke Shaw as the third centre-back backup, because Martinez is going to likely be injured very often. So Luke Shaw can be in the team. But honestly, I think I'd rather play him as a left wing back here. So Shaw, you're going to be my starter, and Dorgu is going to be the backup. Now, that technically means that the backup for Martinez is shifting Shaw to a left centre-back and then playing Dorgu as a left wing-back. That's what I meant by it. And then the right wing-back is Amad Diallo, because assuming that we can play football next year, we'll be able to push him back. And then that does mean that Diogo Dalot has to miss out on a spot, which is really harsh because he was so good. In an environment where most players are flopping, he's actually not flopping, but it looks like he's going to have to not get even into the team, which is crazy. But if Ahmad gets injured, then Mazraoui can play, and he can maybe shift to a centre-back, and then Diallo can play. No, not Diallo, Dalot can play. Now, the two central midfielders. The first one is going to be Manu Ugarte. He did a solid job last season. Now, I want the backup option to be Kobbie Mainoo, and that is because I want the other central midfielder to be Bruno Borg Miguel Fernandes. That he can be more creative from there. He'll do a good job there, and he's letting there be an attacking trio up top. His backup option will probably be Casemiro, who could get sold off to the Saudi League, but he's a good squad player to have. Let's show you the other players that we could have used for the midfield. Now, for the attack, there is the first player, which is going to be Brian Mbeumo, the Cameroonian Frenchman, it has just arrived. He's going to play most matches. And his backup choice will be Mason Mount. Now, I do want to use Garnacho, but he doesn't want to play for Man United anymore because of that Europa League disaster. So it looks like that we're going to have to play Cunha up top, who is really good, has shown signs of promise in pre-season, which is amazing. So yeah, Cunha, you can get into the team, and then your backup option will probably be, oh, I had someone in head and I just forgot it now. Your backup option will probably be Joshua Zirkzee, to be honest. Zirkzee is a 9.5, so he can play as a cam. There he is. And then finally up top, I want to trust Rasmus Højlund, to be honest. And I really do, because he has the potential. The potential is there. And then the backup option will be Chido Obi Martin. There we go. And this isn't the worst team in the world. And I think that we will finish top half next season with this team. Maybe even top 4. But that might be a bit ambitious. But this is my Man United team. Next, we are going to do the Tottenham team. Tottenham somehow managed to draw 0-0 to a League One side in pre-season. They beat my Man United, so I'm not happy at them. Anyway, this is the team they used. It's an okay team, to be honest. Their fullbacks, centre backs. It's not the team that they'll be using throughout the whole season. So let's build the team that they're going to be using throughout the whole season. Now, in goal, Danilo Vicario is a pretty good goalkeeper, so I think that he will